The ship floated quietly through deep space. The stars outside looked like cold white dots. Inside the cargo ship Iron Sparrow, the night was silent, except for the soft hum of engines. Eli was the junior technician. He worked late every night, checking wires, cleaning sensors, fixing small problems. He liked the silence. No shouting, no orders, just peace. But tonight, peace broke. A red light blinked on the screen in front of him. Distress pod detected, the screen said. Eli blinked. He wasn't expecting anything unusual. Most of the time, old satellites or space junk floated by. But this time, the signal was alive. He opened the comm. "Captain, we've got a life pod outside. One life sign inside. Very weak." Captain groaned. "Do not open it. Could be pirates, or worse." "But the signal is real," Eli said. "Someone's inside and freezing." Silence. Then, "Fine. Bring it in, but keep it locked." A few minutes later, the pod was pulled into the cargo bay. Steam hissed as the door opened. Eli stepped forward slowly. What he saw made him freeze inside. The pod was a tiny alien girl. She was curled up tight, her skin pale blue, and her eyes big and glowing faintly in the dark. She wore only a thin, torn dress. She was shivering hard, arms wrapped around herself, knees pulled to her chest. She looked terrified. "Hey," Eli whispered gently, kneeling. "You're safe now. You're on a human ship." The alien girl blinked slowly, not answering. Her lips trembled. She didn't speak his language. But fear was the same in every species. Eli looked around. The other crew members stayed far back, weapons in hand. "She's small," one muttered. "Could be a spy or a bomb." Eli shook his head. "She's freezing and scared." The captain ordered her to be kept in the storage area no closer. "To the crew quarters, she can have blankets. Some food?" "That's it," he said. Eli nodded. He brought a thick thermal blanket, a bottle of warm water, and a small food bar. He left the supplies near her and walked away, watching through the glass. The alien girl slowly crawled forward. She picked up the blanket, wrapped it around her tiny body, and bit into the food like she hadn't eaten in days. Her hands shook. Her eyes darted around, afraid someone might take it away. Eli sighed and went to his room to rest. But he couldn't. Sleep, that face, that slash, that shaking. Around midnight, Eli got up and checked the ship's camera feed. His heart skipped a beat. The girl was gone. The blanket lay empty in the cargo bay. Where did she go? He whispered, eyes moving quickly from one camera to another. Then he saw it. The hallway camera showed her. The alien girl was walking slowly, barefoot, hugging the blanket around her shoulders. She walked like she was lost or searching. Eli jumped up and opened his door. The hallway outside was dim. Then he saw her. She stood right outside his room, small and silent. Her eyes looked up at him wide, glowing, unsure. Eli stepped back. "Why are you here?" She didn't answer. She just looked at his bed. Eli realized. She wasn't trying to hurt him. She was cold. She was just looking for warmth. He sighed and stepped aside. "You can come in," he said softly. For tonight, she stepped in slowly, quiet as a whisper. She climbed into the corner of the bed, curled up like a kitten, and pulled the blanket tightly around herself. Eli sat on the chair beside the bed, watching her. She didn't move, just closed her eyes. But one thing made Eli pause, her hand. It rested on the control panel beside the bed. Not by accident, like she had placed it there on purpose. Eli watched in silence, wondering was she really just cold, or was something else going on? He didn't know, but the cold night had just become very strange. And it was only the beginning. Eli didn't sleep much that night. He kept glancing at the small, alien girl curled up on the far side of his bed. Her head was tucked under the blanket. Only her tiny feet and soft blue hair showed. She didn't move. She didn't snore. She barely even breathed. Eli sat in his chair, eyes fixed on the control panel exactly where her hand had rested before. She fell asleep. The panel had a come button. One press could call the bridge or send a signal outside the ship, but she hadn't touched it again. Not yet. He whispered to himself. Maybe she just wanted to be warm. Maybe she's not dangerous, but something didn't feel right. The way she looked at him, the way she walked so quietly through the halls, the way she found his room so easily. No camera had caught her looking around. She came straight to his door. How did she know? Morning came slow. The ship lights brightened to day cycle mode. A soft buzz signaled breakfast time. Eli stood and stretched. She was still sleeping, curled like a cat, the blanket tight around her shoulders. Then suddenly, her eyes opened, bright, silver blue. Sharp. Eli froze. She sat up, blinked at him, and then smiled slightly. A small, tired smile. Innocent, or maybe pretending to be. He walked over and offered her a small meal bar and a water bottle. You hungry? He asked softly. She looked at the bar, then at him. Slowly, she took it and nibbled. One bite at a time. Her hands no longer shook, but she still kept glancing at the panel near the bed. He cleared his throat. You understand me? She stared. He tried again, slowly. My name is Eli. He pointed to himself. Lee, she whispered, voice soft like wind. His eyes widened. You can talk. She looked down quickly, pretending to chew. You said my name, he said, kneeling beside the bed. You're learning English. She stayed silent. Eli stood up and walked toward the door. I'll take you back to the cargo bay. Captain doesn't want you in crew quarters. But she suddenly grabbed his sleeve. He turned. Her eyes were full of fear again. She shook her head, whispering, no cold. Please. He sighed. You can't stay here. The captain, she said something. In her language, he didn't understand the words, but he felt the meaning. She was begging. He looked down at her tiny form. Her skin still looked pale. Her hands were small, thin. Her voice trembled when she spoke. She looked harmless, but that feeling still lingered in his chest. A warning bell ringing soft and low. Eli made a choice. You can stay, he said, but only when I'm here. Understand? She nodded quickly. The rest of the day passed quietly. Eli did his ship tasks, checked systems, and reported to the captain. He didn't mention that the girl was still in his room. He brought her a translator device. Old, dusty, but working. She didn't wear it, just stared at it. She sat in the corner all day, watching him silently, blinking slowly. Sometimes she tilted her head when he spoke. Sometimes she smiled when he brought food. But mostly she was quiet, too quiet. That night, Eli lay in bed, pretending to sleep. She waited then. Thinking he was asleep, she got up, slowly, quietly. She walked over to the control panel again, but this time she didn't press anything. She just placed her hand on a palm flat and whispered something in her own language. Eli peeked with one eye. Nothing happened. The panel didn't light up. No sound came. But after a few seconds, her hand glowed faintly. Just for a moment. Then she pulled back and climbed back into the bed. Eli pretended to snore, but his heart was racing. She wasn't just cold. She was doing something. Something quiet. Something hidden in the morning. Eli checked the control panel. No signals were sent. No logs. No alarms. It was clean, too clean. He checked the camera feed again, and something made his blood turn cold. Last night, when she placed her hand on the panel, the camera had glitch just for 2 seconds. Static, exactly. When her hand touched it, "What are you?" Eli whispered, staring at the screen. Behind him, tiny alien girl opened her eyes again and smiled softly. Eli woke up to a loud beep from his tablet. His eyes opened fast. It wasn't morning yet. It was the ship's internal alert. Unusual signal detected source. Crew quarters, Section C. That was his section. He sat up quickly. The alien girl, it's gone. He checked the hallway cam on the screen. Nothing. Just a flickering light. Eli grabbed his jacket and ran into the corridor. His heart raced. He reached the hallway and looked both ways. Empty dot. Then he saw it. A small shadow moved near the med-bay. He followed it carefully. When he stepped into the room, she was there, standing on a chair, holding a scanning device with both hands. Her back was to him. She was trying to use it like she'd done it before. "What are you doing?" Eli asked. She turned fast, eyes wide. The scanner fell from her hand. Eli walked forward and gently picked it up. The device was old, mostly used to scan metal parts and cargo tags. "Why this?" he asked. She didn't answer. She stepped back, looking scared again. But her eyes weren't begging for warmth. Now they were begging for secrecy. Eli looked at the screen. It showed a strange signal, a pulsing red dot. It came from inside her. "What is this?" he asked softly, tapping the screen. She closed her eyes. Then she pointed to her lower back. "Tracker," she whispered. Eli froze. "A tracker. Someone put this in you." She nodded. Slowly, they follow. Who follows? She looked down. "Bad ones? Catch me. Use me. Sell me." Eli felt his throat tighten. He sat beside her, still holding the scanner. "So, that's why you ran. Why you came to us." She nodded. "Again, I hide. Long time, but cold, weak. I find ship." Eli leaned back. It all made sense now. The small pod she was found in, drifting for days. Her shaking, her silence, her fear. She wasn't just a lost girl. She was hunted, and the tracker was still working. "How long until they come?" Eli asked. She shook her head. "Don't know, maybe. Already close." Suddenly, the door hissed open. The captain stood there, holding a report pad. He looked from Eli to the girl, then to the scanner. "Want to tell me what's going on, Eli?" he said. Sharply, Eli stood. "She has a tracker inside her." That's what the alert picked up. The captain raised an eyebrow. "And you didn't think to report that last night?" I didn't know," Eli replied. "We just found it." The captain stepped forward, grabbed the scanner, and studied. "The signal, it's a coded frequency, not human tech. She says it explodes if you try to remove it," Eli added quickly. The girl hugged herself tighter. Nodding, the captain stared at her. Then he frowned. "She can't stay here. If they come looking, we're all in danger." "She's just a girl," Eli argued. "She's a threat." The captain snapped. The girl flinched. "We'll contact the nearest patrol ship. Let them take her." "No," Eli said, standing in front of her. "She's not cargo. She's not some package to hand off. She's a problem, Eli." "Then I'll take responsibility." The captain stared at him. His jaw clenched. "You're risking the entire crew. I'll keep her in my room. Isolate her. Watch her." The captain didn't answer. He turned and left without a word. Eli looked down at the girl. She was trembling again. He knelt beside her. "They won't take you," he whispered. "I promise." Later that day, Eli helped her back to his room. He checked the tracker again. The signal hadn't changed. But something was odd. The pulse was growing slower. He stared at it, then she spoke. "Tracker runs on me," she said softly. "My heat, my fear, my body." Eli blinked. "It feeds off your energy." She nodded. "When I feel cold or scared, it grows strong. When I feel warm, calm, it sleeps." Eli sat down. He finally understood. It wasn't just about running from the hunters, it was about surviving them. As long as she stayed scared, the tracker would keep sending her location. But if she felt safe, maybe they could hide her. She looked up at him and whispered, "You warm, I stay close." Eli's heart ached. She wasn't trying to be sneaky. She was just trying to live. He reached out and gently placed a blanket around her shoulders. "We'll figure it out," he said. Together. Outside the room, the tracker's silent pulse kept blinking, far away in deep space. A dark ship had already changed course. Eli sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the tracker device. The tiny alien girl was asleep again, curled up near the foot of the bed. She looked peaceful now, like a child after a long cry. But Eli knew better. Her peace was fragile. The tracker inside her hadn't sent any more signals. Its pulse was slower now, almost silent. As long as she stayed calm and warm, she was invisible to whoever was hunting her. But for how long? Eli leaned his head back against the wall and closed his eyes. Then he felt something. Fingers, soft and cold. Touching his hand, he looked down. The girl was awake, watching him. Her eyes were glowing faintly in the dim light silver blue. Deep like oceans. She didn't speak. She just reached out and touched his cheek, at first. He thought she was trying to feel his face, like a child might. But then, his vision went white. Eli blinked. He was no longer in his room. He was standing in a wide field, purple, grass blowing gently under a green sky. Strange trees with red leaves stretched across the hills. He looked at his hands, they were still his. But he wasn't really here. It was memory. A vision beside him stood the alien girl. She looked older here, stronger. Her dress was clean, her hair flowing in the wind. She smiled at him. Then everything changed. The sky turned dark. Ships came black. Sharp, fast. Screams filled the air. Her people ran. Fires rose from the ground. He saw children dragged into metal cages. He saw older aliens pushed into pits. He saw her again young, dirty, hiding behind a stone wall. Her tiny hands covering her mouth as soldiers marched past. One soldier pointed to her. Another one laughed. Then, silence. Eli gasped and stepped back. He was back in his room, breathing hard, sweat on his forehead. The alien girl still sat there, hand on his cheek, eyes glowing softly. What was that? Eli whispered. She pulled her hand away. My home, she said quietly. Gone. You showed me, Eli said, still catching his breath. Your memories. She nodded. Why? She paused, then said, so you understand. Eli looked at her. She wasn't just afraid of being caught. She had lost everything. Her family, her planet. She had nothing left but a tiny body, a broken ship, and a tracker inside her. And still, she kept running. Still, she fought to live. Eli's voice was low. You're strong. She tilted her head. No, I'm tired. He wanted to help. He wanted to take the tracker out, to protect her, to give her safety. But he was just one human on a cargo ship. Still, look, maybe that was enough. He picked up the translator device again. This time, she didn't look away. He held it up. Wear this, please? She hesitated. Then slowly nodded. He placed it around her ear. A small green light blinked. Can you hear me? He asked. She blinked. Then said, yes. Her voice was quiet, Unsure, but clear, Eli smiled. Good. Now we can talk better. She looked around the room, eyes thoughtful. This place. It smells like warm metal, she said. He chuckled. That's because it's old. She looked at him again. You don't ask many questions. Other humans do, I figure. You'll tell me when you're ready. She nodded, then added, I had a name before, but I can't use it anymore. Eli frowned. Why not? They hunt names, she whispered. Track them, use them. Eli's heart ached again. He nodded. Then I'll call you whatever you want. She was quiet for a moment, then said softly, call me. Nee. Eli repeated, that's nice. She smiled a little. A real smile this time. Then she reached for the blanket again and crawled under it, before closing her eyes. She whispered, thank you, Eli. He didn't answer. He just sat there, watching her fall asleep. She had shown him her pain. Now, he had to show her she wasn't alone anymore. That night, while Nee slept peacefully for the first time, Eli sat by the window, watching the stars drift by. But something flickered on the console. A warning. External scan detected. Source unknown. Direction intercepting course. His jaw tightened. They were coming. But this time, Nee wouldn't face them alone. The stars outside the ship looked peaceful. But Eli knew better now. He stared at the blinking alert on his screen. Unregistered vessel, approaching fast. Unknown origin, high energy output, no message, no ID, just silence. And speed, they were coming. He turned and looked at the girl sleeping in his bedknee, as she now called herself. She lay still, wrapped in a warm blanket, breathing slowly, like a child finally at peace. He didn't want to wake her, but he had to. Nee, he whispered, touching her shoulder gently. Wake up. Her eyes opened at once. Not slow, not confused, sharp, alert, ready. They're coming, aren't they? She asked quietly. Eli nodded. One ship, not broadcasting, coming fast. She sat up, black shape, long nose, red lines across the hull. Yes, Eli said. You've seen it before. She swallowed hard. That's them. The collectors. Eli's stomach turned. Collectors, she nodded. They don't kill first. They gather, test, strip, keep what's useful, sell what's not. You escaped from them. She looked down. I was part of a group. They took us from a trade hub. Said we were worthless. But I had something they wanted. What was it? She stayed quiet. Eli didn't push. Not now. We need to hide you, he said. Or fight. You can't fight them, she said quickly. Your ship is small. They have weapons. More advanced than Earth tech. Then what can we do? Eli asked. She stared at him. I need to get close to your ship's systems, she said. Let me connect. I can slow them down. Maybe change the signal. Maybe make them think we're already dead. Eli hesitated. You connect with the ship. I'm part machine, she admitted. It's modified by another race before they caught me. I didn't choose it. But now, it's my only weapon. Eli stood. The engine room is 2 levels down. We'll go together. Nee stepped off the bed. Her feet touched the cold floor. But she didn't shiver this time. She was calm now, focused. The hallway was quiet as they walked. Most of the crew was asleep or off duty. Eli didn't stop to tell anyone. He didn't trust them not with her life. They reached the engine bay. It smelled like oil and dust and heat. Nee walked to the control core. She placed both hands on the metal shell. Then she spoke something in her own language, slow and careful. The metal responded. Soft lights flickered on. Small sparks danced along her fingers. Her skin glowed faintly, blue and white. Eli watched in silence. She was not just a girl, not just a victim. She was something more. The ship is old. She whispered, but kind. It lets me in. Kind? Eli asked. She nodded. Some machines reject me. Some hurt me. This one accepts me. Eli felt something strange in his chest. Pride? Hope. Can you stop the signal? I can hide it, she said, but it won't last forever. They'll come close. They'll scan harder. We just need to buy time, he said, or find a way to fight. Nee looked at him sadly. You care too much. You deserve someone who does. A small smile touched her lips. Suddenly, a loud alarm rang through the ship. Bridge 2. All crew and identified vessel within 20,000 kilometers. Shields up, battle stations ready. Eli's heart dropped. He opened the comm. Captain, this is Eli. The girl, she can block the signal. She's trying to hide us. The captain's voice barked back. Get her off my ship. Now, she's helping. She's the reason they're coming. Then silence. The connection cut off. Eli turned to Nee. Keep working. Don't stop. Nee nodded and closed her eyes. Her whole body began to glow. Now lines of soft blue light pulsing through her arms and neck. The engine room hummed louder. Consoles lit up. The ship's metal seemed to pulse with life. Eli checked the monitor. The enemy ship had slowed down. It's working. He whispered. Ni opened her eyes. I can't hold it long, she said, but I can confuse them. Make them think we've already been destroyed. Eli's eyes lit up. Yes, yes, do that. She gritted her teeth. Her hands trembled. They'll believe it for a few hours. That's enough, Eli said. You need to rest. No, she said. I must finish it. Her body shook, legs weak. He rushed forward and caught her before she fell. You've done enough, Nee, he whispered, holding her close. You don't have to break yourself. She looked up at him. Voice faint. You're warm. I can stay strong. Her eyes fluttered closed, but the hum of the ship remained. The signal was hidden. For now, in the cold space outside. The dark warship paused. Scans returned nothing. No heat. No movement, just a drifting cargo vessel with no life inside. The collectors turned their ship away. For now, the tiny alien girl was safe. But Eli knew the danger wasn't over. They'd be back, and next time, they had to be ready. The Iron Sparrow drifted quietly through space. Again, but something had changed. Not just outside, but inside. The enemy ship was gone, for now. The signal was hidden. The crew thought the danger had passed, but Eli knew better. He sat beside Nee in the small med bay room. She lay on a cot, pale and weak. Her skin, once glowing, now looked faded. Blue lines under her eyes made her look even smaller than before. The ship's doctor had no idea what she was. He scanned her, scratched his head, then walked out, muttering. She's not dying, but she's not stable either. Whatever she is, she's not built for this. Eli stayed. He held her hand gently. She finally opened her eyes. You didn't run, she whispered. I told you I wouldn't. He replied. Her fingers tightened just a little around his. I need to finish it, she said. Eli shook his head. No, you need rest. But she sat up slowly. If I rest now, they'll come again. The ship won't survive another scan. Eli sighed. Then tell me what to do. I'll help, but not if it kills you. She looked around the med bay. Then her eyes stopped on the power conduit on the wall. I can go deeper, she said. Connect. More than before, not just hide the signal, but change the ship. Eli blinked. Change it. How? She looked back at him. Make it stronger, smarter, faster. Eli frowned. You can upgrade it. I can give it part of me, she said softly. But once I do, I'll never be the same. His heart sank. You mean you'll lose something? She nodded. A piece of my mind, my power, my memories. The ship will take it and use it. I'll live, but different. Eli stood. He paced the room. He hated this. She had already lost everything. Her home, her people, her childhood, and now she was willing to lose more. Just to keep his crew safe. Nee, why would you do that? He asked. She looked him in the eyes. You gave me warmth, she said. And you didn't ask for anything back. He turned away, trying to hide the emotion in his face. Then I'll stay with you, he said finally. The whole time, you won't do it alone. She gave him a soft smile. That helps. An hour later, they stood in the engine room again. This time, C was ready. She took off the warm blanket and stepped barefoot onto the cold metal floor. Her body began to glow, slowly blue veins of light crawling from her fingertips to her cheers. To her shoulders. The walls reacted, pipes hummed, lights flickered. The ship felt alive. Eli stood by the main console, watching every line of code on the screen twist and rewrite. She's fusing with the core. He whispered. NII placed both palms on the ship's heart, an old fusion battery that had powered this cargo ship for years. The moment her skin touched the metal, the room went bright. Her eyes glowed. Her mouth opened, but no sound came. Just light. Every screen across the ship blinked. Cameras twisted. The crew shouted across the comms. It's happening. Down there? Eli grabbed the mic. Stay back. She's upgrading the ship, don't interfere. Back in the engine bay, Niai's hair floated upward. She was no longer standing. She was hovering. Wires uncoiled from the walls and wrapped around her arms. Like vines, she didn't scream. She didn't cry. She gave herself willingly. Eli ran forward as her body began to shake. Knee. Enough. That's enough. She turned her head slightly, looked at him, smiled. Then she collapsed. The wires dropped. The glow faded. Eli caught her before she hit the floor. Her breathing was slow, but steady. She was still alive. The ship was different. Screens that once flickered now shined bright and smooth. Doors that groaned now slid silently. The engines hummed like a beast, ready to leap, and deep inside the core, something new had awakened. The Iron Sparrow was no longer a simple cargo ship. It was enhanced, alive, and part of Nee now lived within it. Later, she opened her eyes in Eli's room. He was at her side, as promised. Her voice was weaker, but clear. Did it work? She asked. He smiled. You turned a rust bucket into a warbird. She chuckled softly. I gave it memories. And dreams. Eli tilted his head. Dreams? I told it. How to fly better. How to protect. How to care. He looked at the ship console. A small blue glow now pulsed on the screen, almost like a heartbeat. It remembers you, he said. No, she whispered. It is me. Ali took her hand again. You're more human than most people I know, he said. She closed her eyes, smiling. For the first time, she didn't feel like she was running. She felt like she belonged. The stars were still out, there cold, endless and silent. But inside the Iron Sparrow, something had changed forever. Eli walked slowly through the ship's halls. The walls no longer creaked. The lights no longer flickered. The air felt warmer, smoother. Even the engines had a softer rhythm now. He could feel her, not just the girl sleeping in his room but Nee. Inside the ship itself, The upgrade she gave them was beyond anything human hands could build. She had connected her very being to the ship's systems, her thoughts, her memories, her instincts. And now the ship was watching, listening, breathing with her. But something else was coming too. Another alert lit up on the screen. Eli stared. At it, the collectors had returned. This time, they weren't scanning. They were charging weapons. Nee opened her eyes before Eli could speak. "I feel them," she said softly. "You don't have to do anything more," Eli said, kneeling beside her. "You've already given enough." She shook her head gently. "They know I'm here now. They want to erase me. We'll run. We can't outrun them forever." Eli paused, then whispered, "Then we fight." Her eyes searched his. "Even if it means losing this ship, losing me." He nodded slowly. "You're not just a system. You're not a tool. You're part of this crew. Part of my life now." She touched his hand. "Then let me burn for you." He shook his head. Hard. "No. If anyone burns, it'll be me." She smiled. "You're warm, Eli, but I'm the fire now." The collector ship came into view, sharp and black, slicing through space like a dagger. Its hull glowed red, its cannons pulsed with energy. The Iron Sparrow should have been no match. But it wasn't just a cargo ship anymore. In the cockpit, Eli stood at the helm. The ship moved like it never had before, fast, graceful, alive. "Talk to me," Eli said, hands gripping the controls. "I'm here," Nia's voice whispered through the speakers. "We're ready." A crew member shouted from the back. "We can't outgun them." "We don't have to," Eli said. "We outthink them." The collector ship fired. The Iron Sparrow dodged before the blast left the cannon. "What?" the crew gasped. "She sees it before they shoot," Eli explained. "She's predicting their attacks." Another blast. Another dodge. The ship twisted and turned like a ghost. Then Niai's voice returned, stronger. "Eli, let me guide your hand." He nodded. "Always." He pressed the manual override. His fingers moved, but not fully by his own will. The ship moved. With him, through him together, one mind, one purpose. Inside the engine, Nia's consciousness burned. She felt everything, the windless space, the pressure in the hull, the pulse of power in every wire. She felt Eli's heart beating. She fought to protect it. She remembered her home, the red skies, the warm lakes, the laughter of her sister. They had taken it all. She would not let them take this too. The Iron Sparrow spun close to the collector ship, dancing between beams of fire. It dove, then climbed, faster than any human pilot could imagine. Eli shouted, "Now, knee." A hidden panel opened on the ship's belly, one of the systems she had quietly built. A single shot fired. Small, silent. It slipped through the collector ship's shield and buried itself inside the engine core. Seconds passed, then dash, boom. A silent flash of light exploded in space. The collector ship broke apart in 3 glowing pieces, floating slowly into nothing. The crew of the Iron Sparrow sat in stunned silence, then cheering, then tears. Eli dropped into his seat, breathing hard. "We did it," he whispered, but there was no reply. Nee, still silence. He ran to the engine room. The lights were dim now. The walls were quiet. He placed his hand on the core. "Nee, say something." Then, softly, a voice came. "I'm tired. But I'm still here." His eyes filled with tears. "You scared me. I needed to use all of me," she whispered. "But I saved enough to stay." He sat down beside the glowing panel. "You don't ever have to give that much again." He said, "You don't have to burn alone." She laughed quietly. Then stay warm with me. Days later. The crew voted. They didn't report her to the Alliance. They didn't turn her in. They gave her a name in the ship's records. Nenaural Integrated Intelligence, but Eli still called her what she truly was. Family every night, he'd talk to her. Sometimes she answered through the speakers. Sometimes through the lights. Sometimes not at all. But she was there, not just watching. Loving. She had once shivered in a cage. Now she lived in a ship of stars, safe, strong, and never alone again.